What does that mean? What's it all mean? Believe in your dreams. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean?
Hey everyone, it's Call Me Adam, and we are here at Dreams Café inside the historic Algonquin Hotel in the heart of New York City's Theater District. And today we are dreaming with actor Paul Alexander Nolan. Hi Paul.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great.
So you are currently starring on Broadway in Steve Martin and Edie Brickell's Bright Star.
I am.
You are. Mm-hmm. And it's very exciting because you're phenomenal in the show.
Oh, thanks.
And you play Jimmy Ray Dobbs. And there's a lot in the show that happens with you. And as I was watching the show, actually, I formulated all my questions for the interview. I was like, oh, there's a lot I can delve in here. But my first initial question is, what made you want to audition for the show?
The script. It came up after I closed a show last year, and I think I read the script in May, and I read it on a flight back to Canada to see a friend compete in an Ironman.
Oh, wow.
And I cried reading the script. I just found it so joyful, so tragic, so funny, and I knew I had to do the show, and I just connected with Jimmy Ray. I just wanted to live inside him for a while.
Your chemistry with Carmen Cusack is really incredible. I mean, you guys have great chemistry together.
I get that a lot of my interviews, and that's essential for any love story to have the audience really be rooting for you and believe that it's happening.
Yes.
I mean, that is essential to all of performance art, that you believe that the situation is actually the situation.
Yes.
So,
and it's believable from watching it.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
So you're doing a good job.
Great,
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. We'll start off with an easy question.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to make you too nervous right away. So, since the show is called Bright Star.
BPM 74, there we go.
Okay, so throughout the interview, Paul's going to check his beats per minute of his heart rate, and the more nervous he gets, the higher they'll go. So
here we go, we're at 74 right now.
Okay, all right. The show is called Bright Star. What is your bright star in your life?
I'd have to say my wife.
I'm sure she appreciates that.
And that's not just the pretty answer. We were literally laying in bed last night, and she was asking me these questions that you're supposed to answer first thing that came into your mind, no matter what the answer was. And so that I've practiced for that and answered truthfully. I love what I do, and it's my passion. It's what I've spent my life doing. It's the craft that I've gotten better and better at as I've grown up, and it would be really hard for me to not do this for a living.
In Bright Star, you sing about holding Alice Murphy longer, 10 minutes longer to be exact. So if you could hold anyone in your life 10 minutes longer, who would you hold on to?
My niece, Chase.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Does she live close by?
She doesn't. She actually passed away 3 years ago. So, I mean, that's a really dark
terrible.
answer. Sorry to bring the darkness to it, but yeah, absolutely. So yes, she does live close by, in a way.
Right.
But if I could hold her for 10 minutes, I would love that.
Also, in the show, you are you invite Alice to a dance. So if you could actually ask any celebrity to a dance, who would you ask?
Oh, good question. Oh, this is good. You know what? There's so many reasons to invite someone to a dance. Gosh. I think I'd invite Kate Mara. I think she's so sexy, and I want to go to the dance with her.
Nice. Well,
sorry, Keely.
If she's watching, you got yourself a standing invitation to a dance.
Now I'm blushing. Okay, we're going to check in. 79, not
All
bad,
right,
not
that's
bad.
good.
Kate, you got me to 79, so here we go.
Good. What do you identify most with about Jimmy Ray?
I think, I get this question often, and I think two things. When he's young, I identify with his hope and his dreams, and his sense of indestructibility. He feels like nothing can get in his way. He's the smartest. He's the quickest. He's the handsomest. He just feels like the quarterback, you know. And when he's a little older, I guess I identify with his grief.
Yes.
His loss.
When you were preparing, like during rehearsal and stuff for the character, did you tap into the loss of your niece to find the loss of what he might be experiencing?
I would say, yeah. I mean, it is definitely a present thing that will always be there. Anybody who's lost somebody close, particularly to the parents of children, but you use what you are. As I believe acting is using ourselves as the paint. If we were a painting, we're using all the colors that we have to create the painting. And sometimes you don't use certain colors in paintings, just like you don't use certain qualities of yourself in certain parts or in certain shows.
That's such a great analogy.
I am full of that. I like the painting analogy.
Yeah, it's good.
Or sports analogies. That's the other one.
Okay. I might not be able to follow the sports analogy as well, which may be surprising or not, but the painting analogy I can definitely follow.
It's a little easier to apply that to art, performance art, I think.
It is.
Football or something.
Yeah, football you'll totally lose me on. So
I might lose myself on that.
Yeah, well,
I'd have to use hockey, actually.
Okay, I could follow hockey a little bit. So your character gets betrayed at one point. And is there a time in your life when you've been betrayed? And if so, did you ever forgive the person?
Yes. I have been betrayed, and I'm working on that, I think. I would have said yes, I did forgive that person, but it just still comes up, which means that probably there's still a wound. But I can't claim to have had a really terrible life. I've had a great life, and the person that betrayed me is a great person, and human beings, anything's possible with people.
Yes. And forgiveness takes time.
It does.
And so,
yeah.
So it's nice to hear that you're working towards that. And you never know what's going to happen. Maybe that friendship will
67.
See, it dropped. See, you're not so nervous. Damn, I thought that was going to be the one that got you
I
real
thought I was
nervous.
just going to get my blood up.
Yeah, I thought you were going to turn all red and. Though before we get to this last question, I have to say, so far I'm a little disappointed because
I wasn't betrayed.
No, I mean you were betrayed, but you haven't tried to feed me a biscuit like in the show.
Oh well.
I brought these beautiful Pillsbury biscuits,
and I just need to lift them up and
there.
sniff them.
They do smell good.
Pillsbury, thank you, Pillsbury. This morning. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, I'm ready because I'm hungry, and I'm gonna. Okay, so. Are you ready for this? Oh, you didn't look me in the eye while you did it.
Oh my God, we'll have to redo it. Can I chew this first or should I spit it out?
You can, but let's time how long it takes you to chew it, because in the show it takes me forever to chew it.
No, these are good.
It's working? Yeah, see, I don't get to do that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I have to do that and then sing immediately.
Okay.
So it's mean, right?
That is mean.
It's a little bit mean.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see how fast I can chew and swallow without...
And then you can refeed it to me.
I don't take that big a bite usually.
Okay.
See, I've been in big trouble right now.
Yeah. Oh, are they too dry?
No, they're mostly like this, but...
Yeah, okay.
One time I had to keep it in my cheek for the entire song and end up spitting out like dough at Carmen.
Oh, I'm sure she appreciated it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she loved it.
Yeah.
And I probably spent most of the song laughing because I did it.
Yeah. All right, you can refeed me now.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
And I'll look you in the
eye.
eye.
You have to look me in the eye. Right? It's kind of sensual.
It is.
That's why the audience loves it. They
Yeah.
just love it. It's just so tense.
That was delicious.
Thank you, Pillsbury.
Yes, thank you, Pillsbury. oh, you could do the... You go like...
Oh, wait, you have to do it. Okay, ready?
Ready? That was good. That was fun.
You do that way better than I would have. Do you want to try it on me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure do.
I don't know. I don't know what he does anymore.
I don't know. Me neither.
I guess I'm not going to get a sponsor because I don't know what the Pillsbury Doughboy laughs
But
at.
maybe we'll get sponsorship just from that. Let's see.
I think we should do a whole other segment where we just poke each other's tummies.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
All right. Sure. We'll do that.
That was fun.
Good. I'm glad. I had a great time too. Everybody watching, be sure to go see Paul in Bright Star at the Cort Theater. We'll have all the information for tickets up on stardreamscafe.com. And we will be right back after these messages, and Paul will have his dream interpreted by Jefferson. So stay tuned. That was good.
Be sure to catch Paul Alexander Nolan starring as Jimmy Ray Dobbs in Steve Martin and Edie Brickell's Bright Star at the Cort Theater, 138 West 48th Street, New York, between 6th and 7th Avenue. Tickets available at telecharge.com. For more of Adam's interviews, visit www.callmeadam.com. For more of Jefferson's dream interpretations, radio show appearances, and podcast episodes, visit everydaysymbology.com. And if you're planning to visit New York, first visit algonquinhotel.com. When
I was around, I think 12 or 13, my parents were gone away, and my oldest sister, who's 14 years older than me, was looking after myself and my youngest sister. All my other sisters were gone. And so the dream was, I was dreaming that I was in the room, the real room that I was sleeping in. Everything was realistic, except my oldest sister was a ghost flying around the ceiling in my room with a dagger and diving at me, trying to stab me. And it was so real. It's a very simple dream, but it was so real that I was doing the thing in real life, but asleep, trying to get out of my room. But the way I was trying to get out of my room is I was trying to break the gigantic window in my room, and I was screaming to the point that I woke everyone in the house up.
So this was actually like a sleepwalking kind of thing?
This was kind of a sleepwalking
You got up and you actually were beating on the window?
Yeah, smashing it, trying to...
Did you break it?
I didn't, thank God, because it would have been that old kind of glass that probably would have cut my arm off. And then the person that runs in the room is, of course, my oldest sister, who was the ghost in the dream. And I'm still halfway between real life and dream life at that point. So I was terrified of her. She had to bear hug me and submit me until I realized that I was awake and everything was okay. So that is a simple dream, but it was part of a series of night terrors that I had, that I couldn't tell the difference between real life and my dream for sometimes a significant amount of time, up to 45 minutes after I was awake. I would know that I was awake, but I wasn't, I couldn't decipher between the dream and my real life. There were, so it took me a long time to trust that Deb, my sister, was not the ghost trying to kill me.
So your parents and your other three sisters were away?
My parents and two of my other sisters were away. My youngest sister was home.
Okay. How far were they gone? Like, where did they go?
They went to the other side of Canada.
Okay.
So 3,000, 5,000 kilometers away.
Yeah. How long were they gone?
A week.
When did you have the dream within that week?
I don't remember, but I think it was within the first few days.
Okay. Tell me about your relationship with your older sister.
Wonderful. She was like a second mom. She was so close to me that she would, when she was in university, she was 3 hours away. She would drive down on the weekends, pick me up, and take me back up to spend time with her.
Wow.
And who is now my brother-in-law for the weekend every once in a while. I felt
wonderful.
like she made me feel like an adult, like an important person, and always treated me like a prince.
I want to go back a little bit and just talk about the night terror dreams other than that first one. Do you remember any of the others?
There was a a show on television called Nightingales. It was about nurses, and there were I don't remember any of the situations, just the actors. And I fell asleep in front of that show, and I dreamt that I had stolen money from, I think it was from Mom. Mom and Dad were back at this point. And I believed it after I'd woken up. And I believed it so much that 45 minutes later I confessed that I'd stolen money. And as soon as I confessed, I realized that, oh my God, that was a dream. So it was like that woke me up.
Did you confess it to your mother?
I did.
You did. And then you said, wait, no, I didn't. It was a dream?
Yes.
And what did she say?
She said that, okay. She just let it go.
Interesting.
I was acting very strangely around that few months, I would say, because, you know, I was terrified. I was so terrified at night that when I'd wake up from one of these dreams, one night I asked them to take me to a psychologist because I was scared of my own mind.
Yeah.
And there was another dream where I dreamt I cheated on an exam. So silly stuff. It again.
Had you cheated on an exam?
No.
Yeah.
And I believed that I'd cheated on this exam. I don't think I confessed this one, but I started getting faster at realizing it was a dream because I was getting used to these. And again, it was, except for that first dream about the ghost trying to stab me, it then became about the quality in the dream. It was kind of like this altered, strange. You know when a camera in a movie can keep the person in the foreground at the same distance, but the background gets further and further away?
Yes.
That started happening, and it actually started happening to my perspective in real life.
Yes.
And I'd have to close my eyes.
Yeah.
So it was really freaking me out. And so that was the other one. And again, that was when I'd fallen asleep in front of the television, and it had nothing to do, this time, nothing to do with the
show.
The show. It just, I didn't want to go to sleep upstairs alone.
Would you say you're a person of high integrity?
I would.
Let's hear the second dream, and let's see how they possibly relate.
This dream was also in the town I grew up in. And the first thing I remember as a detail in the dream is it was a sunny day. It was a summer day. It's a grain town, like a farming community. The town is 500 people large, like that's the population. So it's, you picture this small little town, and then fields, the flattest fields you've ever seen of wheat and canola and that sort of thing. And an air raid siren starts going off. It was distinctly an air raid siren, and we were going to be bombed. I knew this by the thing. So I started running away from the town. And not only could I run away, I could, and I have this dream a lot, that I can either fly or I have such springy legs that I bound, probably 100 meters at a time. And like it gets, the bounding gets larger and further until it kind of, am I going to be able to land now? And of course you always do. So I run miles away from town and then hide in I don't know if you call them culverts in the United States, but there are things called culverts that connect two ditches on either side of the road so that water can run from one side of the ditch to the other because of the runoff. Otherwise it gets trapped, and it helps move water around prairie land. So I hid in a culvert to watch the bomb destroy my town. And it was a nuclear bomb, and of course made that strangely beautiful light and that plume of mushroom. And I remember waking up thinking, that was a hugely destructive dream, yet why is a nuclear bomb so beautiful? So I judged the fact that I found this beautiful, but that was a distinct thing in the dream that I found it beautiful to look at.
Wow.
So that was the dream.
So what you were thinking at that moment was not about the destruction, it was about the beauty. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. They do relate. It sounds like, to me, what these dreams are about is you finding your way through life and being terrified of not being the person that you would like to be. Yeah. And that because of your strong sense of integrity, that you were able to do so. In the very first dream, you're looking for your mother's protection, but she's away. As a matter of fact, she's all the way on the other side of Canada. So in terms of within the same continent, she's as far away as she can possibly be. And your sister is there to fill in for her at that time. And so she becomes the surrogate mom. And your sense of that moment in this edge of puberty moment when your body is racing with all these hormones and chemical changes and you begin to feel unsure of yourself, is that you're terrified that you don't have this person to rely on because she's so far away. And so your body responded by giving you this dream to say, I have to get out of here. I'm not safe here. And so the first thing you try and do is escape. And where do you try to escape? The window, which is actually strong enough to withstand what you're doing. You wouldn't necessarily have known that, but it was. And it also is interesting because what you're trying to get through is transparent. You're trying to get to a place you can see. So what you're saying is, I'm not comfortable here for some reason, but I can see this and I want to get over here because I know I'm comfortable there. So you can see your yard, you can see the landscape, and you understand it, it's familiar. Whereas when you're in the bed, for whatever reason, you're feeling like you're in the wrong place. And what calms you down from that is her giving you the bear hug and holding you in place. And so what it's saying is, you're okay, but what your need was at that moment was to know that your world was safe. Whereas in the last dream, in the one when you were, say, 25-ish, your world isn't safe, it's destroyed. But again, what you're doing in that moment is you're understanding that things have a particular flow. They have a way of operating in nature. And that when you go against nature, there are consequences. But there's also a part of you that can look at that and find beauty in it. And I think what that says, more than about the event itself, is number one, you're a survivor because you run away from the nuclear blast, you get yourself away from it, you find a place to hide that's going to protect you, which is essentially, when you describe it, similar to, when they would do nuclear testing, that they would be in a place that was, slightly either below ground, or they would have that wall in front of them with a little window that they were looking out of. So you were guarded enough from it that you would be able to experience it. And your experience of it was not, oh my God, everything is destroyed. It's that this is beautiful. There's something about this that's natural and beautiful, even though it's man-made and it's destruction. You're understanding that chaos itself is nature, and that it is something that, whether or not what happened to that place is pretty, that the actual event has beauty to it. What you're saying is, at 25, I've reached the point where I have integrity within myself that you didn't have the feeling that you had that when you were 12. In other words, you get that, bad things happen, but it's okay. That's something that you get when you have integrity, that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. And so you had to go through an evolution, not just a growing process, which is what the puberty would have been about, but an evolution of going from the little kid who questioned what mom and dad believed to the 25-year-old who absolutely knew it in the pit of his soul. And that whatever life brought your way, no matter how chaotic that might have been, that you would be okay and that life was beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So can I call you every morning after I've had my dream before I forget it?
Paul, we want to thank you for being our guest on Dreaming with Today. Was the dream interpretation what you expected prior to coming? And
It was absolutely, I would never have guessed that that's what it meant, but I can see that it makes a lot of sense now.
So it resonated with you?
It did, yeah.
Good, yeah.
that's what we want.
Yeah.
I can think of like a dozen dreams now that I would talk about, but it was good to start with those.
Which is interesting because when we were first talking off camera, you were saying that you don't really remember your dreams very much, and then now you're saying that all these other dreams are coming out.
Yeah.
But that's usually what happens. I mean, I get people who come into my workshops all the time, and they'll say, I never dream, and then a friend invited me to this workshop, so I had a dream last night, and here it is. And it's just like, there's something about just actively putting your attention on it that brings it to the fore, and that can be the only thing that you need to kind of get the ball rolling again.
Well, I'll be paying a lot of attention now.
I'll be expecting a call. Yeah.
I was going to say, and we'll have to have you back on the show.
Yes.
I'd love that.
Yes.
In
Wonderful.
a second,
Yes.
in a hot second. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, we had so much fun with you.
Thanks.
Let's do a little cheers to the
Cheers.
Algonquin, to
Yeah.
dreams, and to dreams being your bright star.
Thanks.
Nice.
Cheers.
Cheers.